friends in overalls whose friendship I would not swap for the favor of the kings of the world. Time is really the only capital that any human being has, and the thing that he can least afford to waste or lose. The man who doesn't make up his mind to cultivate the habit of thinking misses the greatest pleasure in life. I never view mistakes as failures. They are simply opportunities to find out what doesn't work. Someday, man will harness the rise and fall of the tides, imprison the power of the sun, and release atomic power. If parents pass enthusiasm along to their children, they will leave them in a state of incalculable value. People are not remembered by how few times they fail, but by how often they succeed. Every wrong step is another step forward. The doctor of the future will give no medicine but will instruct his patient in the care of the human frame, in diet and in the cause and prevention of disease. They may even discover the germ of old age. The best thinking has been done in solitude. The worst has been done in turmoil. The chief function of the body is to carry the brain around. The three great essentials to achieve anything worthwhile are hard work, stick-to-itiveness, and common sense. Maturity is often more absurd than youth and very frequently is most unjust to youth. Everything comes to him who hustles while he waits. I never did a day's work in my life. It was all fun. We don't know 1/1,000,000% about anything. What you are will show in what you do. Just because something doesn't do what you planned it to do doesn't mean it's useless. To invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. Your worth consists in what you are and not in what you have. Not everything of value in life comes from books. Experience the world. The value of an idea lies in the using of it. Hard work, nothing to divert my thought, clear air and simple food made my life very pleasant. Vision without execution is hallucination. You can't realize your dreams unless you have one to begin with. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. If we did all the things we are capable of, we would literally astound ourselves. We shall have no better conditions in the future if we are satisfied with all those which we have at present. I've never made a mistake. I've only learned from experience. I don't live with the past, I am living for today and tomorrow. What a man's mind can create, man's character should control. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Just because something doesn't do what you planned it to do doesn't mean it's. To invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. Your worth consists in what you are and not in what you have. Not everything of value in life comes from books. Experience the world. Hard work, nothing to divert my thought, clear air and simple food made my life very pleasant. The man who doesn't make up his mind to cultivate the habit of thinking misses the greatest pleasure in life. The brain can be developed just the same as the muscles can be developed, if one will only take the pains to train the mind to think. Having a vision for what you want is not enough. Vision without execution is hallucination. The only time I really become discouraged is when I think of all the things I would like to do and the little time I have in which to do them. 5% of the people think, 10% of the people think they think, and the other 85% would rather die than think. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Nearly every man who develops an idea works it up to the point where it looks impossible, and then he gets discouraged. That's not the place to become discouraged. Be courageous. I have seen many depressions in business. Always America has emerged from these stronger and more prosperous. Be brave as your fathers before you. Have faith. Go forward. Restlessness is discontent, and discontent is the first necessity of progress. Show me a thoroughly satisfied man and I will show you a failure. There will one day spring from the brain of science a machine or force so fearful in its potentialities, so absolutely terrifying, that even man, the fighter, who will dare torture and death in order to inflict torture and death, will be appalled, and so abandon war forever. One might think that the money value of an invention constitutes its reward to the man who loves his work, but I continue to find my greatest pleasure, and so my reward, in the work that precedes what the world calls success. When I have fully decided that a result is worth getting, I go ahead of it and make trial after trial until it comes. Negative results are just what I want. They're just as valuable to me as positive results. I can never find the thing that does the job best until I find the ones that don't. The most necessary task of civilization is to teach people how to think. It should be the primary purpose of our public schools. The mind of a child is naturally active, it develops through exercise. Give a child plenty of exercise, for body and brain. The trouble with our way of educating is that it does not give elasticity to the mind. It casts the brain into a mold. It insists that the child must accept. It does not encourage original thought or reasoning, and it lays more stress on memory than observation. We are like tenant farmers chopping down the fence around our house for fuel when we should be using nature's inexhaustible sources of energy: sun, wind and tide. I'd put my money on the sun and solar energy. What a source of power! I hope we don't have to wait until oil and coal run out before we tackle that. Nature is what we know. We do not know the gods of religions. And nature is not kind, or merciful, or loving. If God made me the fabled God of the three qualities of which I spoke, mercy, kindness, love, he also made the fish I catch and eat. And where do his mercy, kindness, and love for that fish come in? No, nature made us, nature did it all, not the gods of the religions. To do much clear thinking, a person must arrange for regular periods of solitude when they can concentrate and indulge the imagination without distraction.